Hi guys, my name is Nonima Tikela. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I want us to talk about the Nongoma case connection, okay? Because Abogininda guys, they don't play. When they do these things, they forget that it's easy to make connections and call the person and be asking, did you do this? Did this happen like this, the way they are saying it happened? It's like they forget it's possible to do those things. I don't know how they process things in their heads, but now they are found exposed, wanting, and it's not nice. It is not nice being exposed now. So now on this episode 6, let's talk about the Nengoma case connection because what a coincidence, if I must say, or no, Kininda would say what a coincidence, Omunya would say what a critical link, but dar, listen to it and listen properly because you are going to find out, Kesan. Oh, you are going to find out ukuthi baze badlala ngathi. Baze badlala ngathi mntasekhaya because sana anyway, one of the most controversial aspects of the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial is the alleged connection between accused number 2 and another criminal matter, the Nongoma case. Throughout the trial, throughout the trial, the Nongoma case has been referenced. A lot of reference have been made has been made to incidents that allegedly occurred at KwaNongoma, in KwaNongoma, KwaZulu-Natal, with the prosecution arguing that these events helped investigators identify suspects linked to Senzo Meyiwa murder. The defense, however, argued that the Nongoma matter has been used to unfairly associate accused number 2 with the Meyiwa case without proving the murder charges themselves. Today, we are going to discuss or we are going to explore why the Nongoma case became part of the investigation, the legal questions it raises, and why it remains one of the most debated issues in this trial. Okay, number one, the entire situation when it comes to the Nongoma case will frustrate you. According to the prosecution, investigators began examining suspects involved in the violent crimes in KwaZulu-Natal after receiving intelligence and statements suggesting possible links to the Meyiwa murder. They are alleging the state alleges that suspects arrested in the Nongoma matter became persons of interest. Further investigations led detectives to the Abogininda, the cold case unit, was led to the 5 accused. Interviews and subsequent evidence formed part of the broader investigation. The prosecution argues this was a legitimate investigative process. That is what they told the court. Now, the defense challenged this because they were like, Bongani Ntanzi is not part of the Nongoma case. What do you mean that he is part of it? Defense kept on fighting and challenging the connection. The defense argued being investigated in another criminal matter does not prove involvement in the Senzo Meyiwa murder, first of all. And the state cannot rely on association or criminal history instead of direct evidence. Every case must be proved independently. Throughout cross-examination, defense lawyers questioned whether investigators developed tunnel vision after focusing on the Nongoma suspects. And the state stood still and be saying to us, no, we investigated and we know Bongani of the Nongoma case 163 and has declared the co-accused, which is Makimbi, Begu Tula, Begu Tinin, Tonton Butel, what is his name? Yes, Makimbi, Kaniselani, Begu Tula, Begu something Butelezi. Yes. And to our surprise, the defense was sick and tired of going back and forth of telling these people Bongani Ntanzi is not part of case 163 for starters. Secondly, Bongani Ntanzi, case 163 is not even a murder charge case. So we don't know where are you people getting this from. They insisted that they kept on insisting that Bongani Ntanzi is one of the accused persons there. And voila, the defense was like, okay, we will deal with this when the time comes. Now, one of the other issues that were quite interesting when it comes to how the defense dealt with this entire situation, it brought a broader investigation of this unrelated case. One of the major questions it brought throughout Nongoma investigation, they genuinely uncovered. In fact, the state said they genuinely uncovered relevant evidence for the Meyiwa case, right? The defense was like, separate these issues, they are not the same. And this disagreement became one of the central themes of the defense case. Now, while they were busy doing that, eventually the time came for the defense to actually call someone who was investigating this case. And when Buti Khumalo, Butomngane Khumalo came to give his account of being an investigator of case 163, he said, first of all, case 163 is not a murder charge. Case 163 is a Nongoma case, yes. However, the thing that you find there, it is for possession of an unlicensed firearm. It is for possession of ammunition. And there is only one suspect. There's no co-accused person there. The only accused person is Makimbi Qaniselani Buthelezi. So I don't know this in other issues that you are talking about. And I gave details of this to Gininda. So I don't know how he got to call it a murder case. He and I knows you do not go to change a record of a charge sheet unless you do it properly. So I would have known what's inside there. I said, oh, they keep on insisting even after the effects. And Buti kept on saying, I don't want to be talking about a murder charge because it is not a murder charge. I was looking for Makimbi Buthelezi for a separate case, 450 or 489, I don't remember, but it's also another Nongoma case. But when I found him, I opened this one of 163 because of this. That was a different case. And because this 163 was linked to that case, now when I connect both of them, he went to talk about both of them. He went to be prosecuted for both of them, Makim. Yes, for that other one, his co-accused was Banban Ngwenya. Banban Ngwenya, both of them have been, the case has been concluded, and even that one, there is no Bongani Sanderson Danzi. Bongani Danzi is not a co-accused of this accused, which is Qaniselani and Ngwenya, Buthelezi and Ngwenya. He is not. He was never a wanted, he is not. And also for 163, he is not. So he has nothing to do with both 163 and 489. He has nothing to do. But the state and Gininda still insisted that they are murder charges. And this man, Buti Khumalo, who was an IO, was like, okay, fine. Your thingy, I don't know anything about that as the IO. And the IO of that other one surely knows nothing because those people have no co-accused. They are both. And this side of Gininda's team, they are saying the case is being investigated. The owners of the case in KZN province are saying the case has been concluded. Both 163 and 489 are both concluded. And people have been sentenced and are busy serving time for that. And Bongani Danzi, up to this day, from 2020 when they arrested him, is still not charged, not arrested for the so-called Nongoma case, because according to the Nongoma people, he has nothing to do with it. Yet Gininda and team and the state are forcing that this court of the Meyiwa must accept that Nongoma case is the Bongani Danzi was arrested. Well, it goes back to one thing. Bongani Danzi was not part of that case. They arrested him illegally. That is what it boils down to. So several legal principles are relevant. Relevance, evidence from another criminal matter must not be relevant to the issues before the court. Merely suggesting that an accused implicated elsewhere is generally insufficient to prove guilty in a current case. Yet Ugininda made it a central point in his team. Similar fact evidence, courts are generally cautious about admitting evidence of other alleged misconduct because it may unfairly prejudice the accused. Such evidence is admitted only under limited circumstances where it has significant probative value. And also there must be constitutional protections. The Constitution protects the right to remain silent, the right against self-incrimination, the right to a fair trial, protection against compelled confessions. If evidence is found to have been obtained unlawfully, the court may exclude it. Still, burden of proof, ultimately the state must prove beyond reasonable doubt that the accused committed the murder of Senzo Meyiwa without including the Nongoma case situation. Evidence relating to another case cannot substitute for proof of the charges before the court. Now, Ugininda was trying to make Ntanzi look like someone who is problematic, and it did not help because Buti cleared Ntanzi when it comes to the Nongoma matter. There is no such. Now, the Nongoma connection has generated considerable public debate. Supporters of the prosecution are arguing investigators were following legitimate leads. Legitimate leads where? Criminal investigations often uncover links between different cases, but not on this one. That has been made clear by the IO of the Nongoma case. The Nongoma investigation provided an important breakthrough. That is what the state people are saying, the state supporters, of which that is not the case. It is quite clear that Ntanzi was being framed for the Nongoma case. Now, critical things to also understand, as people that are criticizing the state appears to rely too heavily on the Nongoma narrative, but it's been proven it was a bogus case against Ntanzi. Association is not proof. The trial should focus on evidence directly relating to the events of 26 October 2014. Let me tell you something. There is no evidence for 26 of October 2014 for any of the accused people. Absolutely. Others have adopted a wait-and-see approach, emphasizing that only the court can determine that what weight, if any, should be given to the Nongoma-related evidence. Now, the last thing that I want us to look at, do you believe that the Nongoma investigation was a legitimate breakthrough or an unrelated case that implicated the Meyiwa trial? It was not a breakthrough. It was not even unrelated at all. That is my view. What is your view when it comes to that? Should evidence arising from another criminal investigation play a significant role in proving guilty? If its legal requirements are persisting, yes, it can be used, in my view. What are your thoughts? How should courts balance the probative value of such evidence against the risk of unfair prejudice? They must make sure that everything that is being brought is linking to the current case. That is my view. What type of evidence do you think is most persuasive in a case of this magnitude? Anything that has to do with the day or the planning of that case or of the matter of Senzo, that is what is significant. That's what needs to be taken into account. If there is nothing proven, then there is no need to take into account. Do you think the Nongoma connection strengthened or weakened the state's overall case? It weakens it because it's not making sense. That is my view. I want to hear your views where you are. Tell me in the comment section. The Nongoma case connection remains one of the most disputed aspects of the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial. For the prosecution, it forms part of an investigation of investigative pathway that led to the accused. For the defense, it illustrates why courts must carefully distinguish between suspicion, association, and proof beyond reasonable doubt. As the trial continues, the court's assessment of the relevance and reliability of this evidence will be one of many factors in determining whether the state has met its burden of proof. So that is what we are listening to and understanding in the court of Judge Rata Mokgoatlhane. What are your thoughts? I'll see you on our next video. Bye-bye.